All right, it is time for the McDonald's Schedule Release Extras presented by McDonald's Money Monopoly. As Elliot Harrison's in studio, you just spent, I don't know how long it takes you to write an article, but you spent your time putting a piece up on NFL.com where you broke down some key matchups in this upcoming 2016 season. As we take a look right now at numbers 16 through 11, Giants and Rams in London is a highlight. And another highlight for you, Elliot, was the Raiders playing the Chiefs in Kansas City in Week 14. What about that game?
I don't feel like you're convinced on that.
I want you to convince me. That's why you're here.
Hey, what I was doing here, Mark, was 16 for 16, man. 16 top games for the 2016 schedule. I know, sounds cute. And maybe my love for the Raiders is a little too cute at this point. But here's what I like about Oakland. Number one, I love the quarterback. I mean, Derek Carr, to me, has ascended higher than Bridgewater or Bortles at this point. That's his draft class. And I love the fact that they re-signed Michael Crabtree. I like what Amari Cooper did last year. If they can get that running game going a little bit more. And then you look defensively. Khalil Mack, now that they put Bruce Irvin on the other side, Khalil Mack occasionally is going to get single blocking. And that's not good for opponents.
Yeah, and you look at that game, too, in that division. It could be for all the marbles, potentially, which makes it a great game.
You bet. They lost both games to Kansas City last year. Kansas City, a lot of people think, is the favorite in that division, with Denver having QB trouble or QB question mark at this point. So that's why I love the game. It's a great uni matchup. Raiders, Chiefs, awesome stuff.
Moving on to the next 5 games on your list, Elliot, you've got Cardinals and Seahawks, which will be certainly a fun matchup in the West for the same reasons we mentioned before. But how about Cowboys Steelers? It's so many rematches among those two teams. It's hard to list them all in Week 8 or Week 10 at number 8.
Yeah, there's so many reasons to pick Dallas-Pittsburgh. If you want to go recent vintage, then we can just talk about the last few years. 2012, they played an outstanding overtime game. The Cowboys won. 2008. Very close game, lost in Pittsburgh. 2004, Roethlisberger was a rookie when Bill Parcells was there. And they had a little undrafted quarterback out of East Illinois watching from the bench that day.
I think I've heard of him.
Yeah, his name might be not Chad Hutchinson. Yeah, the Cowboys, Steelers, and then, of course, Super Bowl 10, 13, and 30. Mark, I know you were going nuts in Super Bowl 30.
Yes, when the, Larry Brown, TCU prodigy.
There you go.
Super Bowl MVP.
There you go. So I love this game for the fact that they rarely play once every 4 years, and then, of course, NFL history.
Looking at the top 5, and you see the Steelers again. Bengals, a great divisional matchup there, but you scroll all the way down to number 1 for you. The top matchup, Seahawks traveling to New England in Week 10. That's an exciting game between two marquee franchises.
Yeah, and I like all of these. You know, you mentioned the Bengals and Steelers. That's, coming off that postseason game last year. I had Redskins-Browns on here. That's all about RG3 versus Kirk Cousins. But to me, the best game on the schedule is a rematch of Super Bowl 49. If Marshawn Lynch was still playing in Seattle, this game would be so talked about. I still think it's the best game on the schedule. Because you know what would happen? If Seattle got into goal line offense in the first quarter, Twitter would be going crazy if they're at the 1-yard line and Marshawn Lynch didn't get the football. Of course, now it's going to be Thomas Rawls, but we'll get a good look at whether or not he can be the answer. And see if New England and Seattle can tee it up like they did a couple years ago.
Hey, Marshawn, it's not too late. You could come out of retirement for that game. I think we would all appreciate that.
Oh, man, I would love that. But Super Bowl 49, one of the best sporting events I've ever been to. That was awesome. You were there. I think top 3 best Super Bowl of all time.
Certainly one of the most exciting sports moments I've ever witnessed in person. And maybe we'll get another moment like that when those two teams match up in 2016.
Playing in New England.
Yeah. Catch his top 16 of 16 article worth your time on NFL.com.